Africa. Let's talk about a world record that is making people super uncomfortable. Not because it was loud, not because it was violent, not because it blocked roads or burned flags, but because it was quiet. A 22-year-old Kenyan woman stood in Nyeri, wrapped her arms around a living tree, and refused to let go for 72 hours straight. No sleep, no food breaks, cold nights, heavy rain. Her name is Truphena Muthoni, and she just broke the world record for the longest tree-hugging marathon in human history. Not for fame, not for clout, but for the forests we're losing and the climate crisis the world keeps postponing. She didn't chain herself to a tree, she chose to hug it, longer than the world keeps its promises. And listen carefully. If you want more Africa First stories the Western media often ignores, hit subscribe because we don't chase the headlines, we chase the truth behind them.
Hi, my name is Truphena Muthoni. I am a guardian of the forests, an advocate of indigenous peoples and trees, and a world record holder for the longest marathon hugging a tree. I'm here in Nyeri at the office of the governor for a groundbreaking 72 hours of environmental endurance to break my own world record and also to advocate for protection of indigenous trees. The reason for hugging trees, one, it's because it's therapeutic, and we have a lot of mental health crises across the world that is directly involved with environmental degradation. So when we have calamities like floods, droughts, we have the victims have post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm inviting everyone to go back to nature because nature has healing. And also it is to help people fall in love with nature, because I believe that before we plant 1,000,000 trees, we must nurture 1,000,000 hearts that care.
We are speaking from...
So to everyone out there that wants to make a difference, no matter how small, you have to start small, right? You can do it. Truphena Muthoni is a 22-year-old born and raised in Nyeri County, Kenya, a region shaped by forests, agriculture, and indigenous land stewardship. Her connection to nature isn't theoretical, as you can see, it's lived. She grew up in school through environmental clubs, scouting, and grassroots conservation work, spaces where young Africans don't debate climate change on panels, they experience it in life. Public records and interviews confirm that she attended Naramuru Girls High School. She's been active in youth environmental leadership. Her advocacy centers on forest protection, climate awareness, and mental well-being. And this is the part that matters. Truphena is not what people call a celebrity activist imported by NGOs. She's a local African environmentalist acting from lived responsibility, not funding cycles. Experts say awareness is the first step. Well, she's been aware. Where have the rest of the world been, right? So people think that this headline means a symbolic protest, a feel-good moment, something emotional but harmless. But the truth is, this was a regulated endurance record, documented and submitted to the Guinness World Records, following the same verification process as her earlier 48-hour record, which has already been certified. No theatrics, no gimmicks, just discipline. So this works because this is a form of activism that bypasses politics and hits human empathy. You don't need a policy degree to understand someone refusing to let go of a tree for 3 straight days. Africa keeps being told to care about the planet while being denied the actual power to protect it. So let's ground this, right? Africa contributes only 4% of the global carbon emissions, right? The global north accounts for 70% historically, yet Africa faces disproportionate climate damage. So let's translate this, right? Africa is blamed for a fire it did not start, and it's asked to clean it up with no tools. That's a backdrop that Truphena hugged into silence. Her 72-hour stand triggered something rare, not outrage, not spectacle, but reflection, right? Youth gathered, elders paused, environmental conservationists shifted from policy language to personal responsibility. This wasn't about trees alone. It was about climate anxiety among youth, emotional disconnection from nature, African leadership without permission, right? So Africa didn't need another boring climate report. She needed someone willing to stand longer than the excuses, right? Her silence did what conferences haven't been able to for decades. So research consistently shows this, that visually symbolic acts create 2 to 3 times higher public recall. So emotional storytelling drives far greater engagement than technical reports. Let's put that into plain language, right? A woman hugging a tree for 72 hours can reach way more hearts than a decade of unread PDFs. That's not weakness, that's strategy. Truphena has been very clear. This is not the end. Her focus going forward includes a plethora of things. To name a few, community level conservation, youth environmental education, mental health and nature reconnection, long-term advocacy for forest protection. I mean, wow. Records fade, but movements compound. The world has asked for Africa to do something, and she did. Now, the world doesn't know how to respond. And this won't be the last time that African youth rewrite the rules quietly. Stay with us. Africa. She didn't shout, she didn't riot, she didn't beg for permission. She simply held on. And in doing so, she reminded the world that environmental activism doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. So, mashallah, that's your African insight for today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because on MrEmpowerTV, we don't chase the headlines, we chase the truth behind them. This is Mr. Empower, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.